I'm Tina. This is Totally Inner Wild. Welcome, welcome. First off, I don't regularly say this, but when I say it, I'm more compelled to do it than other times. So what this is I'm going to do some divination work via some tarot cards. Yeah, usually it just comes in randomly as far as when I feel there's a moment to warrant it. And so, like everything you do, this is an energy exchange, especially when calling upon the divine, so that much more magnified. Being a shared resource, live resource, we get to really learn from each other. And so the energy exchange is much more amplified on a greater plane of existence, thus greater purpose carried to it. Yeah, that's what the angels want you to know. Want us to know. Because anytime that I've relayed it, 1:11 on the clock, it hasn't really been worded in that aspect. So anyway, I am wrapping up a video edit where I had to dig for these cards to get snapshots on them. And I ran into this, which I almost bought again. So it dawned on me that right now it's good to settle into what I have right now, because I have more resources than what being practical implies. That's where I'm at, because I nearly bought these again, not realizing that I had them right here. So we're doing the Syrian Starseed Tarot. And I've only worked with these cards once and this is what, I think the moon that came in. So the next full moon, this ties back to a couple of other tarot readings, especially one more recent to this. It had to do with some work to be done on this coming full moon. I believe following up the Lionsgate portal, which was on the 8th of this month. It's always going to be August 8th for the Lionsgate portal. You can look more into that on your own time, but it's a call to integrity and your identity, and how that plays as part of the vitals within our community. So even though we are part of the greater whole, we are still considered one that helps it thrive. Yeah, 3:17 was on the clock. Anyway, I think that there's a really strong need to convey whatever message this has, or convey 3:33 on the clock, convey whatever the angels, higher selves, spirit, ancestors, ascended masters, and our cosmic families. I call upon you for some messages, and they're going to be relayed through these cards. So, as per usual, any numbers that I call out, sometimes there's a lot of them, sometimes there are a few, but whatever you feel compelled to look up, whatever angel number or master number or numerology base to look up, is really a message that's custom made for you. So I didn't call out a couple of numbers because I felt like there were too many. First one was 404 and then 414, but that was just like instantaneous when I looked at the clock. So I'm trying not to do that now because I don't want to overwhelm you. The last one that I saw was 450. So let's take a breather here. So yes, I call upon spirit, ancestors, higher selves, and cosmic families of those that are watching, as well as at the time that they are watching. And ascended masters, yeah. All right. So what I do here is I share a little bit of myself, or a lot about myself, within a fraction of what I'm going through at the moment, which is synonymous to whatever you might be going through or whatever lesson you might need to learn. And we both kind of like feed off of each other within our growth process. All right, so this is a tarot deck. Usually the Starseed type of decks are more oracle based rather than tarot, so that's cool. Alright. Spirit, what do you need us to see at this moment? What do you need us to learn from? Okay. Huh? You see that one? It just kind of like flipped off to the side. This is Three of Wands. Yeah. This one's about perspective. And it has the Holy Trinity marked here. The triangle reduced, this is the visualization of, its concept, the triad. And when you duplicate that as above, it's pointing, and then so below, if you duplicate that, then we have the six-pointed star. So in essence, at the very base level, this to me is carrying a certain energy of protection within your expanding horizons. And there is a lot of movement, wind against this, going against this person, which implies flight. Let me see, this is almost parallel, synonymous to wings, the concept of it, and being driven by the wind that blows against you. It's like going against the grain, but in the aspect of it's feeling the freedom of kind of surrendering, open arms to the horizon, whatever that symbolizes to you at the moment. Yeah, and this is the sun setting because of the orange hues as the sun lowers. So this is the west, facing the west. So I feel like, okay, when you do divination, like the magical arts, no implication of the dark arts, but the rituals, okay, you traditionally start in the east, and this is very base level understanding. So now that we're facing in the west, it's almost like it's not a finished full circle. It's just like your halfway point. Yeah, that's reminding me of another message, but I'll drop in these little thumbnails that carry a certain degree of that messaging, and you just use your intuition and what you're driven to. But those are little like Easter eggs and hints to drive you towards other messages that are applicable within your journey. So this is a halfway point. So it's not the full 360, it's more like a 180 from your starting point. Yeah, part of that before you move forward is seeing what's ahead of you and realizing that you can't see everything. And that's part of the beauty of it. Learning is a surrender, that you don't know everything, right? There's so much abundance here because it's a field of green. What is that? If you build it, it will come. Yeah, so this is all about perspective. So if you imagine this, if you visualize this almost like a live dream board, that is your workstation. This field, wherever you're at, is where you're meant to be. It's your live workstation. It is a simulation of what's to come. It's a resource, not just a dashboard, but like a dry erase board. So if you build that perspective, that vision board, it will come. It's part of manifestation. Very cool. So this is within like the intuitive. This is a very nice blending of the perspective in that it's isolated towards the heart chakra and your third eye. Yeah, because of the colors, right? Purple, magenta, higher heart, solar plexus or sacral chakra as the sun lowers. And the green, of course, is the heart chakra. So, what else do you want to say here, angels? Okay. The clouds can cause some haziness, can possibly cause some confusion if lowered to base level, to your perspective, to the ground, which can be annoying, I guess, irritating, disconcerting sometimes. It causes a lot of mystery, just like the moon. But that's part of the beauty in it. It's hindsight. I feel like oh my gosh, I feel like I got a wave of feeling there. Okay, the clouds. It's such a beautiful thing. What I'm shown here is that clouds are presented as universal gaps, like pauses or even semicolons, which unites two ideas that have a parallel theme. So you are meant to see the things that you are meant to encounter at the time that you do. And the clouds that come through are meant to present themselves as moments to pause and gain perspective, to digest and go with the flow of things, of not just what's unexpected, but the unknown, and trusting that like precipitation in the air. So it's all life. Part of the cycle of life. Put you in touch with the purity within the isolation of the unknown of what a cloud presents. It could be not premonition. It could be a foreboding of a storm, or it could be a shield in the scorching heat. Whatever the case may be, it is an accumulation of humidity, of water, some element of water, which is parallel to life. Yeah, the bringer of life, the fuel of life. So, to understand that, integrate that within your perspective, with whatever you're going through. Seeing both sides of it. 15:51 was on the clock. Is there anything else? Okie dokie. So 3 of Wands. That's pretty good. Okay. Oh, it's the Fool. It's the Fool's Journey. Is that? Oh my. What? Oh my what? 16:33 on the clock. So this is like a comet shooting from the sky. Comets are always on a journey, whether that be considered the end of their lifetime, right? Or more like a rocket ship journeying on from one realm to another. So as above, so below. And the concept of this is very grand, being that when we look at like a meteor or a shooting star, we're looking at it in such, it's very magical in the way we perceive it, because it's been glorified to be, something to make a wish on, something that brings luck. But ultimately, I really believe that it brings perspective, because when I always looked at a shooting star or something falling from the sky. It's not meant to hurt you. It's like I'm displaced out of my own shoes, and it's just amazing to think about the life within this being coming down, like it has its own energy. This movement on its own is a depiction of life, and that you caught it within the moment of its falling or of its journey. Yeah, and whatever's coming from it, it's almost like tentacles. They're putting the feelers out. So as you're driven towards wherever you're meant to be, wherever you're meant to go, it's like you're learning as you pass through these realms, whether that be, you know, different facets of your life and or worlds, new opportunities, new doors that open. Yeah, the lotus is crystallized into like almost like a quartz. Just, you know, it's so pretty. So this lotus is not in its usual growth area. Lotus flowers are on water, right? They grow out of mud. A lotus flower, if you were to compare it to a gemstone, I would say it's the closest thing to a pearl, being that its beauty comes from unsuspecting circumstances, as do quartz. Yeah, through the adversities. It's like the underdog. And when I experience a phenomenon like this, it's so much more impressive than when I see a rocket ship, you know, going out to space, which is still impressive on its own, but something that is organic in its beauty, in its making, in its possibilities is so much more profound to me. So for me to witness that and know that, you know, everything is energy, that all of this is experiencing what's happening here. And whatever its launching pad was is a catalyst, okay? Which is also an unsuspecting feature of what... Okay, so we're we're equating this to our own lives. Our launching pad is our adversity, yeah? Or multiple. Whether we are confronted with them or if we face them head on, or we butt heads, because both happened. So that's our launching pad. And whatever that was a factor that helped this happen. That entity it served its purpose, but the new perspective, the new horizon is where we're headed towards. So it's kind of out of view, yeah? 22:20 on the clock. There's fireflies around us. That's pretty much it. You know, we're surrounded by ferns here. And there's some particular energy with ferns. Do they give more oxygen? Are they more resilient? What is it about ferns? I know that they're more like household plants. So maybe the familiarization of it is like our home base, like the Four of Wands energy. Abundance in the home front. Yes. Because when you see this and then you realize that this is happening as above, so below, we're looking at this greenery up front closest to us, but behind us in the background, it's almost shadowed, almost like a silhouette of the mountains. Our adversities are launching pads. Typically what happens in mountainous regions is that the snow caps, the very tops that have crevices or whatnot, have a lot of greenery, but even more so because it trickles down from the top down below, right at the foot of the mountains, because the water comes from the top. So they have ample darkness and less abrasive conditions than you would typically at the mountain top. And that's why the survival rate is so much more abundant at the foot of the mountains. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So thanks very much for watching 2501 on the clock. Yeah. Oh, one thing let's go ahead and thank our angels, our ancestors, ascended masters, our cosmic family, spirit, and our higher selves. Of myself and those that are watching. You, of course, yes. You bring energy here. You have good energy tied to you. So let's thank all of them. And please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, and donating to my channel. I certainly appreciate it, and I will see you again the next time. Until then, think about that. This is good stuff. Bye for now.